Good morning. Good morning. Reverend Miller, you are a very tough act to follow. I should not after you. My name is Peter Skopec. I'm the director of WISPIRG, the Wisconsin Public Interest Research Group. And I want to say a few words on behalf of the organizers before I introduce the first of our two fantastic keynote speakers. First, I want to echo what Reverend Miller said in many ways, but first just thank you for being here, taking time out of your busy day, being here on a Saturday during a really busy time of the year to talk with us about transportation issues and transportation issues in your communities. We have people here who traveled from all across the state to be here, from Wausau, from Appleton, Kenosha, La Crosse, Madison, Waukesha, all over the city of Milwaukee here as well. So I want to really thank you for making this trip here to join us. Now, before this summit, we held a series of 10 community forums around the state over the summer and during the fall. More than 400 people joined us for those community forums. I see a lot of you who came to the forums across the state here today, so thank you for being here again. We held those community conversations because we wanted to hear from people about their experiences with the transportation system and find ways to work together to make it better. And I just want to share a few of the things that we learned from our community conversations. For one, we learned that in many ways the transportation system for people in Wisconsin isn't working in some ways. So if you drove here today, you probably noticed that our local roads in your community and lots of other communities across the state are not in great shape. Some of us carpooled here today. We hit a bunch of potholes on our way. And if you don't drive, our transportation system can be very, very challenging as well. A lot of people rely on public transportation to get around. That includes me. I don't usually drive. Who here is a bus rider? I just want to survey the room quickly. Great. Lots of bus riders. Wonderful. So this is important because without good bus service, people who can't drive are in serious trouble. So that could be people with disabilities, people who can't afford to drive, people who lost their driver's license. And they can't get to the places, we can't get to the places that we want to go. And that's exactly one of the things that we heard from people in the forums that we held. We heard from a lot of people, really many people who were cut off from work without bus service to take them to where the jobs are. We heard from people who have to spend hours waiting for buses and then transferring to make it to a doctor's appointment, for example. Or people who are otherwise limited in the places that they can go and travel and the things that they can do because transportation service doesn't take them to those places. And that's what makes this a social justice issue too. There are a lot of organizations here that work on social justice issues. This is a really crucial social justice issue as well because when the people who are most often being left behind by the transportation system are low income, they're people of color, they're people with disabilities and other disadvantaged people, then that is a serious problem for the quality of life in our communities and for just communities as well. So why is this happening? Why is our transportation system leaving so many people across the state behind? A lot of it comes down to money and how we spend our tax dollars. One of the other important things that we learned through our forums is that there are lots and lots of people in local government, and transit agencies, and businesses who are working very hard to make sure that our transportation system works, so filling potholes on local roads and providing transit service for people to get to where they have to go. But they have limited resources to do that. The resources that they're getting from state government just aren't enough to do all of those things effectively. And one of the reasons that there aren't enough resources going to local priorities, so things like fixing potholes and investing in transit service or in bike and pedestrian infrastructure, is that the state of Wisconsin has chosen to prioritize other things. So over the last 15 or 20 years especially, we've seen a significant increase in spending on highway expansion programs. So that means adding lanes to highways or building new highways. I-94 here in Milwaukee is a good example of that. The state is proposing right now to spend about $1 billion to rebuild and expand that highway, add lanes to it, when really we know that there is a much greater need for more transit service to connect people to jobs in the city, for more investment in local roads and fixing potholes on local roads. Now, like Reverend Miller said as well, this is an extremely urgent issue, and it really couldn't be more urgent for you to be here today. So there's a lot of talk in Washington. There's going to be a lot of talk in the state legislature and in the state of Wisconsin over the next 6 to 12 months about infrastructure and transportation spending and what we should be doing about our transportation system. And really what people told us most of all in our forums was this. We should be spending our tax dollars on local priorities that really matter to people and communities across Wisconsin. That includes fixing local roads, like I said, investing in bus service that gets people to jobs, to the doctor's office, to school, to the places that they really have to go. So the decisions that are going to be made over the next few months are going to have an impact on all of us. If our leaders don't make the right transportation choices, people are going to continue to be cut off from where they want to go. And that's really why I'm so excited to see so many of you here today, because this is a really important issue in many ways, like I've touched on, and as Reverend Miller said as well. We decided to call this summit Arrive Together because what Wisconsin needs is a transportation system that really works for everyone, right? When we have a transportation system that works for everyone, that means that we all benefit from that, whether we drive on highways or on local roads, or whether you take the bus, or whether you bike or walk everywhere you go. And if we can connect more people to jobs and to the doctor's office and all of those places, then that means that our tax dollars are going to good use as well. And it also means that our economy is going to be stronger, it means that our communities are going to be stronger, and it also means that we are going to make Wisconsin a better place for all of us to live and a more just place for all of us to live as well. So today we want to talk to you about what a system that really works for everyone looks like, why that matters to you and why it should matter to you. We want to hear from you as well, as we did during the listening session this morning. And we want to talk about how we can make that happen together. So I'm really excited for the speakers that we have lined up today and for the great breakout sessions that we're going to be hosting this afternoon as well. So on this note, I just want to say a quick thank you to all of the organizations who helped us put together this fantastic event. This really would not have been possible without months and months and months of hard work by lots of partner organizations. More than 35 organizational partners came together to put together this event. You can see most of their logos on the back there. Some didn't make it into the slide in time. I'm sorry about that. But more than 35 organizations helped us promote this summit, recruit people, and many of you are members of those organizations. They are too many to name one by one, so I will let you look at this screen. But one thing I want to emphasize is that this is an extremely diverse group of organizations. We have communities of faith, community groups, low-income advocates, environmental organizations, social justice groups, aging and disability advocates, and many others who joined us here today to make this summit possible. So I want to say thank you to all of you, and just give a quick round of applause. I also want to say a quick special thank you to a few organizations that made financial contributions to support the event and specific aspects of the summit today. For one, the Sierra Club's 4 Lakes group sponsored a bus from Madison to get people from Madison here today. Thank you. We also have Project Return that sponsored a bus from Waukesha to get folks from Waukesha here today. Thank you. And the Council of the Blind and Visually Impaired is sponsoring lunch today, so thank you. And very important part of the event. Now finally, and I promise I am wrapping up here, I want to thank a few of the core organizers that made this event possible. So I want to say thank you to the interfaith organization Wisdom and its affiliates all across the state. That includes Naomi in Wausau, Esther in the Fox Valley, Cush in Kenosha, MICAH right here in Milwaukee, Sophia in Waukesha, many others as well. I want to say thank you to Wisconsin Green Muslims, to Renew Environmental Public Health Advocates as well, to the UW Milwaukee Children's Environmental Health Sciences Center, to the Sierra Club, John Muir chapter, and to 1,000 Friends of Wisconsin. I am so happy to have worked on you with this event. It could not have happened without all of your help, so thank you for being partners in this really important work. And now finally,